We're grateful for last year, 2021. It was quite an interesting year, and a lot happened in 2021. And of course, we just experienced the festive season, you know, with friends and family coming around, and just having that whole opportunity to interact with our loved ones and catch up, you know. Yes, and rejoice that we're all still here. That is something to be grateful for. So I hope you had a wonderful time doing that. I had a wonderful time, yes. And it was also a good time to just look over the year and how it went. How did 2021 go? How did you fare with the things that you wanted to do, your dreams, your desires, you know, all of those things? How did you fare? For us, we had major milestones that we celebrated in 2021. Our 14th wedding anniversary, yes, that was major, and we're really excited about that. And we used that opportunity to also do the book launch. Yes, so there were some high points. Oh, we had another child go to secondary school. Yes, so yes, the children are getting older. And one more thing, our son turned 13, so we have the first teenager in the family. So yes, we are getting into that, or we have gotten into that phase, you know, of parenting teenagers. So yes, things are happening. But you know, when I think of the past year, there were highs and lows, right? And for my family, one of the low points was losing my older brother. And yeah, that was a low point. That was a difficult time. That is something I wish did not happen. You know how you say, if I could turn back the hands of time. Yes, that is one thing I would wish for a different outcome, definitely, but it happened. But you see, where there is life, there is hope. Where there is life, there is hope. And that's something that reassures me. Where there is life, there is hope. And in a new year like this, we have hope for new beginnings, hope for new opportunities, hope that we can do something better, that we can start something again, something that we didn't get the chance to complete. We can finish this time around. There is hope. So I encourage myself, and I encourage you not to give up. Yes. So I have to say, welcome back to Common Sense for Relationships. I'm really excited that we're here again, and I would like to take this time to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who was part of our journey last year. Thank you to everyone who helped in one way or the other. Thank you to everyone who left a comment, who left an encouragement, someone who shared an experience, someone who challenged us to do something different. Thank you so much to every single one of you. We are so grateful. And as you can see, my husband, Mr. Anietie Bature, is here with me on the set.
Yay! All right.
Welcome.
Okay. I just allowed you to go on a monologue, so that you can give a brief recap of the year. But I didn't want you to ride alone, you know. So I thought we should do this together. Should do this together. So at the beginning of the year, make I show my face more. Let me get my little chance of, you know, in the limelight. You know, as they talk about my little chance in the limelight. But it's also a good time to start right. Man, my brother, those things went together. I couldn't miss it. Do you understand? I couldn't miss it. So, but you know, the way it is looking today, now you get show. Me, I just the waka pass. Do you understand? And as I the waka pass, I have to put you on the spotlight. You call it right start. What exactly did you have in mind?
Okay, so if you want to just keep it simple, right start, starting out right.
Okay.
You know, we start different things, and when it's a new year, we really start different things. In offices, in families, as individuals, you come up with, you know, sometimes New Year resolutions, your goals, your objectives, the things you want to accomplish. There's that whole new stuff, new habits, you want to develop and so on. So I just thought about it. Now I was like, hey, when it comes to relationships, I wonder how many people actually are deliberate, the way we are about career, about business and so on. How many people are that deliberate when it comes to relationships, to say, okay, what are my goals and objectives this year in my relationship?
But just to buttress what you're saying, but also to throw in another side to it. Whether we like it or not, we actually do these goals thing. Sometimes it feels like a cliche where, okay, new year, new something. New year, new goals, new year, new dreams, new year, new, all of that. But whether we do the goals or not, we actually do set goals.
Okay, so let me see. Are you trying to say whether you actually sit down and say, I am going to write it down?
I will write it down.
You are actually setting goals. Wait, because if you write it down, if you are deliberate to say this is what I want, then you have defined what you want. But if you don't, then you have just decided to let your life play out anyhow it plays out.
And you have actually defined what you want.
Which is what?
Which is that
nothing
if
exactly.
If you are not if you fail to plan, they say you are doing what? You are planning to fail. So that means the failure to plan is a plan in itself.
Yes, absolutely.
So if they say I don't have any relationship goals, you have actually set a relationship goal.
Which is quite interesting but scary, especially if you want certain outcomes. You know how you say, I want to achieve this by the end of the year, or I hope that if you just stop there without being intentional about what next after my desire, or what next after my hope, or what next after my dream, then you could actually spend the whole year and come to the end of it and find yourself exactly where you were before, in a place where you also start again to hope, let's hope next year will be better. Let's see how next year will be, or let's see how this year will be, or how that's, I hear that statement sometimes, and I'm like, let's see how next year will be. If it is that, you have certain things you're going to do, and then you are actively working those things, and then you want to see how next year will be with all that you have in mind and that you plan to do and so on, then yes, that sounds a little more believable and a little more encouraging.
So if I'm going to take anything from what you're saying, and in case somebody is hearing there, they can take something from what you are saying, is that saying that I will see how next year will be, whether you say it or not, the year will be, but it depends. But what you do about it will determine what you will see.
Yes, and that's why I look for 3 helpers, okay, and these helpers are words. These helpers are goals, vision, and strategy. So if you like, you can call it. If I want to do like you now, I'll say GBS.
Talk to me, ma.
Goals, vision, and strategy.
Okay.
So when you come to this new year, right, just the same way you do this for other serious aspects of life, try to do it for your relationship. If I'm not trying, do it for your relationship. Whatever phase you are in, whether you're single or married, do this for your relationship. Have goals, have a vision, and then have strategy.
Okay, so I want to do something.
Okay.
I want to do something, and let me try to look into the camera. How many of you have goals, visions, and strategy for 2022? Now, why am I asking that question is because it actually feels like a cliche. Let's be serious.
Yeah.
So in order to put this in perspective, let's check. Let's see whether these things actually work. 2021, goals, visions, and strategies. What happened? For you?
For me?
Yes. The things that you saw, because at the beginning, you mentioned some things that happened.
Yeah.
Right? So those things that happened, did you write them down? What did you do?
Okay.
What did you have? Just tell us.
So I actually wrote down the things that I wanted to achieve in 2021, right? And in fact, for some of them, I went a step further to print a picture of what I wanted to achieve. So not just write it down. Writing down is one thing, but the next level, like put a picture to it. So I did that for some, and then I put it on my phone, and it helped me to remember this is what we're working towards. And through the year, right, you remember, I want to do this, I want to finish this, I want to complete that. And by God's grace and by diligence and by discipline and by plenty sacrifice, I was able to accomplish a number of them. Of course, there's some that I did not complete. Example, there's one song. I call it my December song. All written as stuff, but I didn't get to produce that song. So I guess it will happen this year, right? And that's because when you put a plan to it, sometimes you are actually able to determine that this is of higher priority. This other one is more important. I want to finish this first, so you decide how to allocate your resources. It's important. So yes, we all need to set those goals. And if you can, go the extra mile and put some pictures to the words. In fact, when you speak of the next level, right? If you want it to be even more effective, even more impactful, even more, should I say, tangible for you as you are walking through this whole thing of having goals and a vision, you need to go one step further to have a mental picture. Okay. Now, if you look in the dictionary, let me quickly read three definitions for you. The first one is a goal, right? So the goal is the result or achievement towards which effort is directed. So this is like your aim, your end, what you want at the end of the day, right? And then I'll read out the definition for vision, and that is the ability to think about or plan the future. Okay? But what I like here is it didn't just stop, and this is from Oxford Dictionary, it didn't just stop at the ability to think about or plan the future. It says you have to do that with imagination or wisdom. You do that with imagination or wisdom. So it's like, what else am I pulling into this whole thing of vision? Is it just sit down and think, sit down and plan? No, you have to build some things into it. So you build in imagination, you build in wisdom, you build in your knowledge, you build in all the things that you build in your experience. In fact, you build in promises, promises that you have from the scripture, and so on. Just building all of that into creating your dreams, your vision. That is really important. And the last part of that definition says vision is a mental image of what the future will or could be like. So a mental image, here it says will or could be like. So you see that there's a probability there. How will it play out? You don't necessarily have control over everything. You have control over certain things. But you see, you have all the liberty to dream. You have all the freedom to dream, to sit down and try to conceptualize, where am I going? What do I want that future to be like? And even though this is the beginning of 2022, when you are going about putting this future that you desire down, it's up to you to say when you want it to be. it's not only dreams that you say, I must accomplish them by the end of 2022, that you are going to entertain here. You can actually work towards things that are in 2023, 24, 27. Feel free to dream as far as possible. Okay? So yes. And the last definition I will read is strategy. So strategy is a plan of action designed to achieve a major or overall aim. So the strategy is your game plan. It's your plan of action. So what are you going to do? If you put it in stages, write down your goals, yes? And then next level, sit down and create that mental picture, okay? And then next level, sit down and write down your strategy to achieve your goals, your strategy to realize that vision, for you to move from being a mental picture to becoming a reality for you. So somebody will say, why should we even be doing this, right? Can't we just go about our lives, you know, and do what we're doing, you know, whatever will be, just watch and see and stuff? Or isn't it enough to just believe that things will be all right? Or isn't it enough to just pray that things will be all right? Isn't it enough to just hope? Why do I have to take action? You need to take action. Somebody will say, show me your faith, right? A way to show your faith is by what you're actually doing. It's like saying you believe that you will get a scholarship. If you really want to show me that you believe you'll get a scholarship, I would like to see an application or 2 or 3. I would like to see that you have actually started the process. Because you won't just sit down in your house and do nothing and from the blue you get a scholarship. So you have to be deliberate. It is really important.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Right?
Emma, thanks a lot for your comment. Emma said planning is important. Yes, it is, Emma. You have to plan. I mean, okay, if you want to use someone who is single, for instance, what kind of plan should they be putting in place? Is it someone can jump right to this and say, I plan to get married by the end of 2022. Yeah, that's okay. But is that or what else do you plan to do? If you plan to get married, then what other plans do you need to be making leading up to the point where you are getting married, right? So you need to sit down and put some thought to it and not just assume it will just happen. So what do you need to do? So for instance, if you don't even have a network, you don't have friends, you have no suitor, you have no prospect, you haven't seen anybody you like, and so on and so forth, then you actually have to start from beginning to make friends, beginning to establish contact with people. Coming out from your shell has to be part of your plan, right?
Someone is saying online here that they can't hear you. They can't hear your audio. Is that and they can't hear you, so that you need to be a bit louder. They can't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to be a bit louder. I'm not sure why that is, but I'm sure the tech guys will sort it out. Yeah. So,
okay, please let us know when it's better. Thank you for leaving that comment. I'll try to project and be louder.
Okay, all right. So just to take it up now, when you're talking about making things happen, you know, I wasn't normally a believer in planning and, you know, keeping and focusing, and, you know, I wasn't a firm believer, but I can say I learned that from you. So let's clap for you. but just so that they will know that this thing, you are not just saying it. In our bedroom toilet, on the wall, for 1 year, 365 days, there is this picture there. So whether you are brushing teeth or you are doing the other things, there's this picture there that has everything that she wanted to accomplish, you know, including including the book, including the children going to school, including the school the children wanted to go to, including, so those things were there. Now, we didn't achieve everything that we put in that picture, right? But I would say we came close to 70 to 80%.
Yeah.
So it makes true that when you say shoot for the moon, if you don't hit it, you will fall among one of the stars.
The album launch. The album was there.
Mhm,
My
the
whole
album was
life
there,
album.
yes.
My whole life album was there.
Yeah.
Yes. The book was there. Yes. Anna's getting into the same school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was there.
So I mean, it's yes, you might not accomplish all, but it's like saying aim for the stars, and if you don't get there, you land on the moon.
You land on the moon. Yeah, that's
so yes, there's value to be had. There's value.
Okay, so I know what to do.
What?
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Did you see husband material making the kind of waves it is making? Because it's doing the rounds.
Yes. Okay, so I saw husband material adding value, right? So I looked, my focus was more on the book getting out, people getting a hold of it, and reading it and getting value from it. Yes, that's what I hoped for. That's what I desired, right? As far as that book was concerned, But the main thing was finish. Because when you are doing something, a project of that sort, and you have other things, right, that are equally important, and that you have to share your resources, then yes, it might become a challenge to finish when you would like to. So for me, completing the book was the main thing, and I am so happy that I got to finish it. Okay, so yes, and while we're at that, you see, I had this call it, my vision was one day I will finish this book and people will be reading it and getting value from it. And there's some things I wrote down here about vision, and I would like to read them to you. So vision, right, ultimately from that definition, is a mental image or picture. Now, something to note is that this mental image can come in different ways, okay? It could be divinely given, like when you're sleeping or you're going through the day or something, and in God's mercy, He gives you a vision to give you an idea of what's coming. That's part one. That's one way. Now, what if you are not, what if you did not receive a vision, or you did not have a divinely given vision? Doesn't mean there's no hope. No, there is hope. You could carefully craft your vision by thinking and planning. And you can build in all of those things that I talked about earlier. And the interesting thing for you to know is that we are creative beings. We have the power of creativity. We are also able to create like our Creator. So you can actually sit down and come up with a vision, carefully craft it. Now, why should anyone bother about a vision? Why should you bother? Why can't I just go on with my life? The fact is that vision helps us to achieve and to do so many things. First of all, it directs your life and gives you focus. Because if you have that vision, this is what I'm working towards, this is where I'm going to, this is where I want to be, and that's in front of you, and you keep going. It's in front of you and you keep going. So vision helps you to focus your life. It helps to direct your life. So there are certain things that you could have done, certain places you could have gone to, certain activities you would have indulged in, right? If you didn't have that vision. But with the vision, if I do that, it will be a distraction. And because of that, you abstain from that stuff so that you can focus and achieve the vision. Another important thing about vision is it prevents you from being aimless and unproductive. Have you seen somebody so early in the year telling you, I'm bored? How can you be bored so early? It just says you don't have a vision, because if you have a vision, if you have written out what it is you want to do, if you have created that mental picture, you have something that you wake up to every day, something that gives you a reason to get out of bed. And you know, this is another thing about vision. It makes life exciting and interesting because you're living for something. There's a target, there's a goal, there's something you're working towards, and it's just really amazing. Vision gives you a mission. So you're not just aimless, you're not just wandering, occupying space on the planet. Vision gives you a mission. Vision helps you to know how to allocate your resources. So for instance, if I'm working on an album, I know it will cost something, yes? So when I'm allocating resources, I have to remember, yes, there's money that needs to be kept for this and that and so on, you know, or time. How much time am I going to spend here? How do I need to plan my time? And with that, you can put things in perspective and know, okay, this other one, I can't do that right now. I don't have time for this other one right now. I need to sacrifice one thing here. I need to drop something here, pick up the other one there. Vision helps you to allocate your resources. But I mean, if there's no vision, then you're just doing anything. But you know, something that came to my mind was, if you don't write your own vision, you will end up being a tool or a resource for somebody else's vision.
And you like to speak English. I like to say, if you don't write your own vision, let's put it this way: if you don't build your own house, you go help another person build your house. Sure. That's for fun. If you don't build your own house, you help another person build your own house. So, except if and part of your vision may also be, I will help this man be building his house so that I can get money to start laying my own foundation. So it's all part of the vision. It's all part of the process. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's all part of the process. So what I would like to dive into, very quickly, is still on the subject of vision. It's like seeing 2022 before you get there.
Yes.
Now, in looking at that vision, I have to come back to this particular vision that we have seen. So for almost 1 year, I was seeing it on the wall, right? And now we've gotten to the end of the year 2021. We are coming into 2022, and I have it in my hands. So can we call that fulfillment of vision?
Yes, yes. You can say that the mental picture has become a reality. Yes.
In other words,
that what was once in your mind, you have now brought it to the tangible realm.
But something is coming to my mind now.
What?
That it is the visibility that begats the tangibility.